Welcome back to another video. Today we are discussing how to adjust your training program or your fitness routine for the holidays. During the holidays, there are three main obstacles that come up. The first obstacle is not having a lot of time to train. Now, there are a lot of reasons why you might not have time. It could be just busier schedules, it could be family, it could be you're traveling. For most people, we can work around this obstacle relatively well. Obviously, we're going to have to make adjustments, but a lot of the adjustments that we have to make are pretty simple. So I'm going to walk you through multiple different ways that you can work around not having time. Hopefully these can give you some ideas as to how you can navigate the holidays. Now, the first one is going to be adjusting your training frequency to only 1 to 2 times per week at the gym. Now, this is just an example, but let's go ahead and flip to my computer so that we can see what a normal program could look like and how you would adjust that. So let's say typically you are lifting 3 times per week and you only have realistically 1 day that you can lift. What we've done to condense this is we have taken the main movements from day 1, 2, and 3, and we've removed some of the accessories that you can go without. Prioritize your main movements in just 1 day if that is all you have. Do what you can, and that's what I hope the message is for this. Let's move on to the second example if this is your limitation, and that is going to be keeping your training days the same but cutting time by adding circuits or supersets. So for this second example, we're still using that same training program. All of these examples, I will use the same original plan. But for this one's pretty self-explanatory and easy. All you're doing is taking those movements, and instead of doing them as single sets, you are doing them back to back. So with the barbell squat and the back extension are the only two I didn't superset because we didn't need to. For example, leg press, you will do the leg press and then immediately go into that lateral step up. Or for example, with the reverse lunge, you will do the reverse lunge and then you will immediately superset that with the forearm plank. After those 2 movements are done, that is when you rest. So you're cutting your rest time in half by not resting after every single set and every single exercise. Another way that you can condense time in the gym is to keep your training days the same. So for example, if we have 3 training days, we'll keep the amount of days the same, but we'll cut some of the accessory movements, the less important movements of that training for the day. So in the holiday plan, we are prioritizing still 3 times per week, but now we are just condensing it to 3 to 4 movements per day, just cutting out a movement or 2 and prioritizing the compound movements or whatever is your priority exercise. That is what we are prioritizing here. So everything we're doing, every example we're going through, just make sure that the movements you're focusing on are your priority movements. The reason why these are the priority movements here are because generally these are going to be the priority movements for the general population. Prioritize your healthiest movements for what your goals are. Another way that you can make this easier on your schedule is to train from home. If you're training from home, you might not have access to a barbell, to dumbbells. So the example I gave is actually how I would modify it if you have absolutely no equipment from home. If you can't do a barbell squat from home, you can do a body weight squat or you can do a weighted squat. You can grab household items, but these are all great things, first of all, to change up your training. If you don't do higher rep work in general, then this is something that you should prioritize for your joint health. But in addition to that, if you are used to doing higher rep work, then it doesn't have to be a dumbbell or a kettlebell. You can use household items. Book bags, suitcases is just your way to go, honestly, and it is accessible. It's super easy. You can do it from your home. You can also do it while you're traveling, which we'll talk about that in a second. So bodyweight movements from home and utilizing household items is a great way to cut time. And then you can also do that in combination with cutting how many days you're lifting. So you can do any combination of these or just one of these. These are just a bunch of ideas for how you can modify for what sounds best for you. But the point of this is there are so many solutions, an abundance of solutions if this is truly something you want to focus on. So the last thing that you can do is you can just take a deload. Usually you'll only want to deload for a week, but you can deload for a week or 2 and take that time to recover. You can take that for the holidays, maybe during Christmas time and New Year's. If training right now is just not possible, you can deload by completely stopping training for a week or 2 and just focusing on maybe going for walks and still trying to keep your fitness levels high if you can, because one, that's really good for de-stressing and for your mental, but also in addition to that, you don't want to completely stop moving your body. So if you can walk and keep your body moving, you will feel better than ever, honestly, coming back from the deload. Now, you can also deload by still training and not taking completely off. And the way that you can do this is just going higher reps and lighter weight. Instead of doing a 135-pound squat, you're going to do just the bar and you're going to squat for 15 reps instead. It's really just focused on moving your joints through that full range of motion, moving your muscles through that full range of motion, and that really helps to improve your fitness levels, decrease your load for recovery so you recover faster. There's less impact on your body and it keeps your fitness levels relatively high. So those are just some ideas if that is your main obstacle, but there are 2 more obstacles that we have to go over. So let's go over that second obstacle. The second obstacle is not having equipment. You're traveling for the holidays and there's just not accessible equipment to you. There are a lot of solutions for this. My favorite solution, honestly, is a TRX. I have 2 of them. I've been using them with my clients in boot camps for years. I use them with my virtual training clients and I use them for myself. I love a TRX. The easiest option is to get a TRX or adjustable bands or something that is easy to travel with. A TRX takes up just about, hold on, actually, you can take this, pack this, and it comes in a small bag that I don't have with me right now. It's over there, but you can pack this up and probably condense it way better than I just did. So this comes with it. You put this in the door. I used this in an old New York City apartment pre-war and it held on and the hinges were broken. So it worked in that, and so I basically trust it with almost anyone. TRX is a lot of fun. I will link the ones that I usually recommend to my clients down below as well, but you can find any on Amazon. Look at the reviews, make sure they're good, and they're probably gonna be good. You can also check to see if there are any gyms nearby. A lot of people don't know that you can just go to the gym and get a day pass for one single day. Don't forget that a gym day pass is also an option. And then the last 2 just have to do with what I already said before, and that is using body weight exercises or using household items. You can use your body weight exercises to do things like push-ups and pull-ups and planks and all the fun stuff. You can also go for walks or runs or dance or try out a new form of exercise. There are so many options, especially YouTube. Here we are on YouTube. You can just YouTube dance classes and find some cool follow along fun dance classes as an option if you don't have any equipment, and that is super fun too. For me, before I started getting into fitness as much as I am now, I seriously stayed fit because I would turn on music and dance for like 30 to 60 minutes whenever I was struggling with my mental health. And that's how first of all, that's how I coped, but that's how I stayed physically healthy as well. So there's so many ways that you can apply that to obviously the fitness aspect of it. There's so many ways that you can stay healthy physically. So just consider what your goals are and how you want to modify and what is worth modifying. So some people are okay with a month or 2 of some YouTube dance classes, and other people would be like, absolutely not. I'm in a powerlifting competition. I need a gym. And the third limitation is feeling too dang stressed to do anything else, to focus on anything else, to want to lift, to want to go for a walk, to want to do anything but hide under your covers under a rock. Because I feel that. The first thing when you feel depressed and overwhelmed and too stressed during the holidays, this can happen because of family, this can happen because, oh man, so many things, don't even want to get into it. And I just want to say that this is completely valid. That said, if you feel like you do have the energy to get up and move your body, it is one of the best things that you can do for your mental and your physical health. It doesn't have to be an intense movement. Sit here and do what you can. Squeeze your fists, squeeze your shoulder blades, do a little stretch, maybe yoga. If it is with the intention of taking time and space for yourself, it can truly make such a difference in how you feel mentally and physically. So if you're feeling overwhelmed and feeling like this pressure that you need to lift, you need to move, you don't need to. It will help you in feeling more recovered physically and mentally, but only if you go into it with that intention. Please don't forget that physical movement, whatever type of movement, it doesn't have to be lifting. Yes, we really prioritize lifting and strength on our channel because Brian and I are powerlifters. We are strength advocates, but that is one aspect of fitness. And the overarching message of our brand is balance. And if you need a little bit more rest right now, that is okay. It is truly okay. Movement is great though. It's going to help you with de-stressing. So don't be too hard on yourself, but don't be too easy on yourself if you know that you have goals that you want to stay consistent to and you know that these feelings are temporary, and it feels to you like these feelings are temporary, and it feels to you like you can push forward, then I would truly, truly recommend, if you can, to push forward. Because I know sometimes we're on this brink where it's like, do I push forward or do I rest? If you do have the ability to challenge that and push yourself forward, it will help you build up that physical and mental again. Now, if you're struggling with this last obstacle, feeling overwhelmed, I'm gonna give a little bit more for you on how to make fitness and strength training more about self-care rather than being about changing anything about yourself other than releasing stress. So the goal here is to make fitness and movement feel like stress relief. Feel like, so happy I went to the gym. I did not want to go beforehand and I feel so much better. That is the feeling we want you to feel, and that is a very real feeling that most people when they go to the gym feel, and that's what keeps them consistent. But there are many people, and most people I think who struggle with this obstacle are going to resonate with this message. A lot of people feel so much damn dread to going to the gym. So much so, not even just that, just dread with life and stress and overwhelm, that even pushing through the workout is misery. And I've been there as a personal trainer for 10 years. I have been there so many times. I totally get it. So here's how we can shift from feeling like this to feeling like, oh my gosh, I feel so freaking good that I went to the gym. I already kind of said this, but the first thing is you want to make sure that you are staying focused on what your intention is when you're going to the gym. If you catch yourself thinking, I'm doing it for this, I'm doing it to change my body, I'm doing it for any other reason other than feeling good and releasing stress, question that. Dive deeper, be aware of it, and then remind yourself what you're actually doing it for. Remind yourself why you're doing it. Now, that is going to be helpful for some people, but then for other people, it's going to be like, okay, I know why, but it's not going to hit hard. You're gonna be like, okay, on the surface, I understand why I'm doing it. I understand that it will lead to this result, but like it's not hitting. So here's what to do if that's you. You're going to educate yourself further. The reason it's not hitting for most people is going to be because there's not solid proof that this will actually lead to this. And you already have so much hesitancy and resistance towards fitness that you're kind of at this blockage. So the way that you can mindfully get through that is to educate yourself further on how and why movement and fitness can help relieve stress. So for example, a lot of people think that to lose weight you have to run, but that's not true. And we all know that's not true, but that is what we were taught. We then resist this information, right? We resist that information because it's like, well, I know running does work. I hate running, I effing hate running, but it is the way I will achieve this. Let's then say you go and learn a little bit more and you're like, oh, okay, so this actually is not the only way and there's so much research proving this. Let me just try. And then you'll feel more encouraged to try. Then you'll see, okay, it works. And then you're gonna be more inclined to move forward. Now, even further, if you are someone who feels resistance towards fitness all times of the year, this is generally where if these other things don't help, being able to dive deeper into those thoughts is important. Now, this is something that we can do as journal prompts. You can sort of analyze this with yourself. Therapy will help you analyze this a lot better because they will be asking questions and diving deeper with you and getting you to open and explore doors that maybe you haven't explored before. Also, if you are struggling with accountability, Brian is taking on clients through the holidays starting now until January. He will continue taking clients over January if his schedule is not filled. That said, January 1st, we are launching our coaching group and I'm so freaking excited about it. If you are interested, I will leave the link to apply for that waitlist down below. I hope to see you there. I'm so freaking excited. But that said, if you enjoyed this video, please leave it a like. It helps push this video out to more people and build our little community here on the YouTubes. All right, friends, stay strong.